Hey, what's going on guys? Nick here with HN Entertainment's review for Shazam, the latest entry in the DCEU from director David F. Sandberg, and starring Zachary Levi as Earth's Mightiest Mortal. The film also stars Asher Angel as young Billy Batson, Jack Dylan Grazer, Mark Strong, Grace Fulton, and more. And I think a lot of expectations were very high for this film going in, because last year at Comic-Con they kind of blew the roof off everybody with their trailer, which was sort of an extended teaser showing off what the film was going to be, and it's essentially been advertised as Big meets Superman, or superheroes in general. It's the idea of a young kid becoming a superhero by saying the magic word Shazam, and that's one of the things that I loved about the film so much. It has a very rich heart to it, and it kind of wears its humor on its sleeve, and it's very fun-filled, action-packed adventure. But at the core of the story, it's really about this kid trying to sort of figure out what happened to his past. For those comic book fans out there, you'll know that Billy Batson is orphaned in the DC Comics, and they kind of do that here, but it's a bit differently without spoiling things, and it is sort of a story about Billy learning to adopt a new family, which are the foster family of kids and adults that we see in the film that kind of bring him into their home, and that is where other shenanigans ensue. Now, as for the villain of the piece, we have Mark Strong here, who's trying to get his redemption after 2011's Green Lantern, in which he portrayed Sinestro in that film, but in this one he's playing the villainous Dr. Savannah, who is of course one of Shazam's arch nemesis characters from the comics. He was there practically from the beginning, but they don't really play him up as an eccentric scientist in this version. He's much more cold and calculated, playing up to the strengths of Mark Strong as an actor from his previous performances and roles, and I did actually really like him a lot. There are other villains I don't want to get into here. If you have been keeping up with the promotional materials, you probably know who they are, but I don't want to spoil that here because it is kind of a pivotal plot point which you should experience for yourselves. Overall, I thought the cast did a tremendous job. All of the youngsters that portray Billy's foster family are really great. I think the standout was Faith Herman as Darla Dudley. She was amazing, and I really did like Jack Dylan Grazer as well, playing Freddy, who's kind of the character that interacts the most with Billy and Shazam. Now, as for the titular character himself, I thought he was done justice in this film. Shazam is awesome. I can't wait to see more of him in this universe, especially given the fact that he's going to be interacting with other characters of the Justice League. I'd love to see him interact with Aquaman and fanboy over stuff like that, or Superman at some point, or Wonder Woman. I think that'd be hilarious to see on screen, just because the character is such a sort of fanboy of other superheroes, and the fact that he gets to become his own superhero in this film is really cool. Another thing that I loved about this film is how it takes the DC universe that we've seen in previous films, but kind of turns it on its head in the fact that Shazam gets to be a hero out in public. He's wearing this bright red costume. It could be silly or inherently funny, unintentionally, but they actually play it straight, and all the characters and just regular townsfolk in Philadelphia are kind of happy that they have their own superhero to look out to, and people go up to him, they take pictures with him, and it's really funny, and I love that aspect of it because it makes it feel just real and grounded. They don't take themselves too seriously where it's like, oh my god, he's a giant being, we're not on his level. He's just a normal kid, so he kind of interacts with people normally like anybody else would, and I thought that was a really great choice stylistically for the story and the character. Now, overall, if I had any complaints, I would say that the film kind of hits a couple repetitive beats, and some of the villains aren't as well developed or interesting as they could have been. Like I said, I did like Savannah, but I think that he could have been even better had they made different choices with this character, or maybe given him a bit more to do, or more like backstory or explanation, because he is a little bit one note in my opinion. But besides that, I didn't really have too many other complaints. I loved a lot of this film. Can't wait to see it again, actually. I highly recommend it to everyone out there who was on the fence about it, or kind of interested from a trailer but they didn't know how to feel about it. This is definitely a very fun, solid, enjoyable film. I hope it makes a ton of money for DC because they are definitely on the right track. If you guys got a chance to check Shazam out, be sure to drop your thoughts down in the comments below, but let's try to keep it as spoiler free as possible to preserve that first time viewing experience for those who haven't seen the film yet. For more updates on Shazam and everything in the DC universe and pop culture, be sure to subscribe to HN Entertainment.